Next time, you're the stunt monkey.
Hey, I want you to go look at this other monkey over here. This monkey, this is what's going to happen to you if you know it. Bash that fucking monkey's head.
Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its influence today. Hey, my name is Will, and joining me, as always, are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Am I still your friend?
He did say friend and co-host, so far so good.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'd say friend and co-host John, and Kat's here too. That's the end of my complaint. All right. Hey, that's the end of my passive aggression or active aggression. All right. Hey, on today's show, we're going to review current news stories related to 1980s media. Guys, I'm going to document your answers to a few questions, and we'll see if you get them right, okay? Here we go.
All right. There we go.
Have the nerds been erased?
No.
Is Gen X the most emotionally durable generation?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we finally getting a Last Starfighter sequel?
Maybe.
And admittedly, some of the news on that is a little bit confusing, but I did go to the source on this to find out.
No.
Well, this isn't a question. 80s mascots battle a milk monster. Oh, that's just a statement.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's my
John
guess.
saes yes. And finally,
favor.
is the new Faces of Death real?
Ew.
Ew. I'm going to write down ew. Got you for that.
Best answer so far.
Yeah.
Ew.
All right. Ew. Hey, look, we're going to get started on that in just a moment, but a very quick announcement. Kat, I got it. You don't have to fully, and I appreciate that, though. Hey, this is the weekend. Come, John, over here. Now come here. When I say here, I mean here, but very soon, here could also be a fan expo in Cleveland, Ohio. Look, come hang out March 13th through the 15th. Tons of big stars. Most recently, they announced the main cast of I think at least the 3 or 4 main folks from The Mummy are going to be there, including Brendan Fraser himself.
Wow.
Just found out about that. Yeah.
That's cool.
And on March 15th, that Sunday, or this Sunday, hey, come and hang out with me. I'll be doing a panel on we call it Even Stranger Things. It's the true story that inspired Stranger Things. Let's see, what else did it inspire? Something else. What was the other one? Severance.
Really? Oh,
and
yeah.
Something else. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, come and check it out. Also, I'll be giving away free copies of our book, Totally Bogus But True, Tales from the 1980s. Go to fanexpo.com to find out more. All right, cool.
Yes.
And if you do make it, say, hey, hi.
Just like that?
Yeah,
Just like
hey,
that.
hi. And then I'll know you heard this. Yeah. I don't know, something like that. All right. Hey, hi. Let's get started on 1980s news. I'm going to add a hi to my hey now from now on.
Hi.
Hi. Wait, what is that from? Is that something?
Yeah.
What was that?
We did that. What was
Yeah,
that
I know.
from?
It was like years ago.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. And
Huh.
there's a movement with it. There's a
Yeah. Well, okay.
Was I here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was
Okay.
it, dog?
You were
That's weird.
playing right along with it.
Yeah.
You were
Okay.
Hi.
I'm gonna choose to believe you.
All right. Hey, this week.
Hey, hi.
Up in 1980s news. All right, check this out. As reported by Giant Freaking Robot, the nerds have been erased.
Oh.
Now, I have to have a somber moment here. Because sadly, Robert Carradine, another one of the many folks that we grew up watching on television and in movies throughout the 1980s and beyond, has died at age 71. And this one's more tragic because on February 23rd, he took his own life following a 2-decade-long struggle with bipolar disorder. He was a member of the storied clan of actors, right? We grew up with all these Carradines: David Carradine, Keith Carradine, Robert Carradine. There's another brother in there.
Now, they're not all related, aren't they? No, they're just Carradines.
Those guys are all brothers. Yeah, the ones I know.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. Wow, I thought it was like a Smith, like they were just coincidentally all were actors with that name. Right? I didn't know they were like the Baldwins, like they were all really brothers. Wow, I didn't know that.
For some reason, I think their father was a well-known actor too. Gosh, I feel bad that I don't know that offhand.
That happens.
Anyway, Carradine was the bedrock of his family, according to his surviving older brother, Keith. Just as a side note, I'm not a doctor, but it's just so upsetting, right? I mean, so oftentimes we talk about these things and we think, we wish there was something more we could do. And the other part of it is sometimes you don't know if there's more you can do because you don't know folks in your life are suffering with these kinds of things. And you don't have to have bipolar disorder, certainly, to have challenges like this. But I learned that bipolar disorder affects just 2% of the population, but up to 50% of them attempt suicide. It's a pretty significant number relative to that, population.
Yes. That's huge.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with it, it's that you have these sort of manic highs that part of it's being very impulsive. And then depression is the opposite. Hopelessness, fatigue, where you sort of just bounce between the two of these. And although they don't know why suicide rates are high among these folks, they think it maybe have to do with times when these things mix and you have the depression with the impulsivity. Mm-hmm. So if you feel really low and there's nothing to do and you're impulsive, and you can't control those impulses, tragedy. Look, this is just our PSA here briefly to say if you need help, call or text 988 in the U.S. You could reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's available all the time and it's free. All right. Hey, back to our current story, though. Let's celebrate this gentleman's life for a moment here because he was in, like I mentioned, he was in tons of movies, TV shows throughout our youth and beyond. One of my favorites is 1982's Tag, the Assassination Game, which also starred a pre-Terminator Linda Hamilton and was written and directed by Nick Castle, the first Shape from the Halloween films and director of The Last Starfighter. Do you guys remember that movie?
No.
That's the first time I remember seeing him. There's a lot to it, but the thing that was most sort of, attractive to me or stood out to me was that in the movie, he's a college kid on a campus playing an assassination game, which is a game where you pretend to hunt other students. Some folks did it with water. I know kids are doing it on TikTok now with water guns, paintball. Some folks had paintball guns. In fact, just as a bizarre sort of, coincidence, in 1985, Carradine's future co-star Anthony Edwards starred in Gotcha. Do you remember that movie? Mm-hmm. That one also starts off with college students hunting one another on campus. It's a similar premise that take different, although similar kind of directions with espionage and murder and, being involved. Anyway, it so much so that this was, interesting to me and my friends at the time. When we were in college, Kat, we tried to get this going. Alex and I tried to get this going. It never really worked out. Except I remember, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but our buddy George, who's a friend and a writer who, has written for the show before, has written stories in our book, Totally Bogus. He and I somehow evolved into we didn't have actual water guns or anything. We would just see if we could sneak up on one another. And when the other person spotted they were being watched, he would just say like, bang, like make a fake, like a finger gun.
I love that.
So you had silenced, you had your silencer on.
Yeah.
So there was an assassination game our senior year that I was a part of.
Well, I wasn't invited.
I'm sorry. I would have.
Were you in charge of it?
No, but I would have made sure you were included.
That's why you weren't invited.
Could be.
And I was very dedicated to my cause, and I assassinated someone that you and I both know, named Greg. I was determined to assassinate him, and I hid inside, remember the ticket booth for the Black Box Commons Theater? Yeah. And there was a way you could open it. You just reached in under the thing. Right. And so I hid in there, and I knew when there was a theater class happening, so I waited at like an hour and a half. And I finally got him.
So what was it? Was it water guns?
It was water guns, yeah. And then about 5 minutes later, I died.
Friendly fire?
By somebody else.
If the gun leaks on you, are you out?
It started raining. Yeah. Thunder, lightning started raining. She's soaked out.
In the chat, Kurt says, #justice for Greg. You did him dirty. Yeah, no kidding. Now, I'll tell you, George, our buddy, so I never was invited to this game. I didn't have that many close friends. I wish you had been. Kat wasn't my friend then. But George got the best of me. He had the last laugh, so to speak, because we graduated, right? George was actually ahead of us, but we graduated. Yes. And months go by. It's still in this era of, a pre-internet. Yeah. I get a letter in the mail.
No.
I open up the envelope. I open up the envelope. It's a picture of me at graduation, like from a telephoto lens. And I flip it over and it says bang.
And there was anthrax also in the envelope.
Yes. Yep. Retro Day says, taking inspiration from the laser tag craze. Yeah, I love that too. I didn't get to play it till probably the last 10 or 15 years I played with my kids, but I never played it before.
I only ever played like a real-time game like that is The Floor is Lava is the only thing I've ever participated in. Fun too. And didn't enjoy it.
Oh.
Did not enjoy it.
Too much anxiety?
Yes. Things break. You get up on tables. You just fall off of stuff. You fall into chairs. It's terrible.
Wait, was this in your house? Or
No, in college. In college.
Okay.
John, your imagination may be too powerful. That you could feel the heat.
If you don't want to lose, you need to get off the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't realize that was something to play in college. I think I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah. Well, it was just a small group of us. And you have to, the last person touching the floor is burned alive, is the way it works, right? So,
Oh, Richard L says Robert's daughter Ever. That's another. She's another actor. And Kurt says Martha Plimpton is Keith Carradine's daughter. Gosh, how did I forget that? I remember when we were kids, everyone said she was George Plimpton's daughter, but I know that wasn't true. Anyway, okay. So hey, look, but what are we talking about here? Oh yeah, I was going to say, but look, aside from the tag the Assassination Game, of course, as folks are mentioning in the comments here, his biggest film success probably was 1984's Revenge of the Nerds, in which he played head nerd Louis Skolnick along with Anthony Edwards, whom I mentioned. It was that role that embedded him in the consciousness of a generation and went on to become one of the most beloved films of the decade. Released during the best year for movies, of course, 1984. Directed by Jeff Canoe. It's a comedy that's a revenge film, essentially, but a feel-good one about plucky anti-heroes who want to make the world safe for the oppressed weirdos just like them and get laid because it's an 80s movie.
Sure. Of course.
So you have to have both those things. It's often referred to as a cultural touchstone for influencing the rise of the nerd narrative, being a pivot point for where, we shifted from nerds as pariahs. And I want to say geeks too, but I think back then there was still a distinction and even nerds didn't want to be geeks. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
That might even come up in the movie. Anyway, there was that shift away from that to knowing that these folks would one day rule the world. And boy, are we paying the price. Why did I pick on nerds?
As if you weren't one?
Cat. How dare you?
Oh, no.
I wasn't even invited to play tag. So
I would.
School, so.
I was not the organizer. I would have invited you.
I was one of the weirdos oppressed that the nerds were fighting for. You were one of the atoms, one of the jocks. Look.
Oh, dear.
While it's celebrated for its themes of self-acceptance, we've talked about this before. It's also been criticized, fairly so, for containing some problematic content. I found a list online from someone called the Catholic Skywalker, who called it the, quote, most morally corrosive movie of the 1980s.
Oh, wow. Come on now. I mean,
it's got to be worse or the same.
Porky's exists,
right?
Well, look, I don't know Porky's that well, but this Catholic Skywalker put together a list of the offenses by the nerds and the offenses by the jocks, and then ultimately decides the nerds are more immoral. The jocks did bad things, but the nerds are immoral. So, just as a reminder, here's some of the things the nerds did. They invaded a sorority house. They set up cameras in that house to secretly film the sorority sisters in various forms of undress. They added liquid heat to the jock straps of the bullies.
Good clean one.
They cheated to win some of the contests, when they had this competition. They distributed nude photos of one of the characters without her consent.
Not cool.
And, of course, of particular concern is what Crooked Marquis called, quote, rape by deception, end quote. Wow. That was hard to say that even. That's terrible. That's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
You guys who listen know I'm a good person. But the fact that we have to, that even they characterize it this way, rape by deception. I don't want to keep saying the word rape over and over again in our show here. Never mind.
Just RBD. Just there we go. RBD.
RBD?
Simple. Yeah.
RBD.
Yeah.
RBD.
Well, then you don't have to say it.
Yeah, but you're almost suggesting that it can be used so much we need a faster way to say it.
You've said it 5 times already. We clearly need an acronym.
Yeah, that's true.
How about a violation? It's a violation by deception.
Okay, Cat. This is, remember how you helped earlier? Same level of help. The screenwriter Steve Zacharias. Steve Zacharias removed.
Go, Cat. I want you here.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Steve Zacharias, the screenwriter, removed that scene in a subsequent musical adaptation of the film. According to Psychology Today, nerds and its ilk can play a role in our culture regardless of their issues. They suggest we acknowledge their flaws without dismissing their cultural impact. Instead of simply erasing them, experts say we can use them to foster critical thinking and discuss how societal norms have evolved over the decades.
Oh, you're talking about the movie?
Yes. Now he's talking about the movie.
I thought you were saying there are still uses for nerds. Both. Oh no, you're talking about both. We can use them as a bad example and understand what they did terribly.
Couldn't figure out how to safely play the floor as lava.
Nerd.
That means you're not a nerd, John. She said I was a nerd and you're not now, clearly. Well, if John needs a nerd to figure out how to play the floor as lava, that suggests he's therefore not a nerd. Whereas earlier you said as if I wasn't a nerd.
No, I said that you are a nerd.
I know. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I always pictured the whole nerd jock brain paradigm as like being It's like Dungeons and Dragons alignment. Like, oh, are you lawful good? Are you chaotic evil?
There's no overlap.
Are you nerd? Who jock? Are you like? It's kind of. It is a self-identification and it's a choice of behavior. So I guess the fact that I compared it to Dungeons and Dragons also self-identifies me as a dork, but that's okay. You notice I didn't say, it's like calling plays.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
And stretching balls.
It's like bouncing hoops and shooting nets or whatever you do.
In the 1980s, however, all we knew about the movie is that it had nudity. Mm-hmm. I'm just crossing out so many quotes from the film too. Now that we had RBD enter the chat. And gratefully, we could watch the nudity. That is provided our parents weren't around, which they weren't, which we'll talk about in just a moment.
Yes.
But after premiering in theaters, it was available for rent and shown on cable with HBO airing it more than 24 times. And if you're like so many of us, you also had a copy of it stashed somewhere at your house. I'm certain I recorded it off of cable or recorded it from a rental before they had that scan thing. What was it?
Yeah, the copy protection stuff. Yeah, the Spectre of it. No.
Today, however, the film's only available on physical media. There's no digital service that offers the controversial comedy, and it's not been aired by any of the cable outlets in years. What is happening?
I'm just waving. I was waving back at John. I didn't start it. I was
just noting that there are some streaming services that have it available.
Okay, can you direct us to it?
I cannot. No.
Oh. When you say service or streaming.
Yes. Right.
All right. All right. You fuckers are just determined to derail me this whole night.
It's what we do.
You got together before the show.
No.
I felt so good about last week's episode.
I was busy. No, I couldn't.
Yeah, okay.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Last week you're like, this is all C material. None of this is any good.
I re-recorded most of it. Did you listen? I recorded all my stuff. All right.
Even the D.
While this may be because of the romanticization of RPD, there are likely other reasons complicating the film's availability. I've seen folks online saying, well, of course you can't get it. It's canceled. But there's a lot of films out there that probably should be canceled and you can get. And as recent as 2024, it was still available on mainstream subscription services. So, and not whatever John's referring to, which is like Pirate Bay or something.
No, so listen, I went looking just the other day because I saw this article ahead of recording. And so there's a great website called justwatch.com. Maybe you're familiar with it, right?
Yeah. I think
I put in Revenge of the Nerds and it went, here it is on Amazon. And I went to Amazon. They have Revenge of the Nerds 2 and 3 and 4. They do not have the first one. That was the only entry. So they want you to go and buy something, but it's not the first movie, not the 84.
Well, and that may be because, look, I don't know who released the second one, third one, fourth one, but the first one was released by 20th Century Fox, which is now part of Disney. And so the distribution rights of the first film versus the sequels may be different.
I'm sure.
And these services like Netflix, they get these licenses. It's just temporary. They have to keep negotiating or renegotiating the license in order to be able to stream them. You know, it's not like anybody can just stream any movie. But in addition to that, it's an old movie, so it's not entirely surprising. A 2021 search of the Instant Watcher database by someone named Nick Shaden I found online revealed that 2/3 of the movies available on Netflix were from 2015 or later, whereas only 9% were released prior to 2000.
Wow.
And it's something like 2% are from 1980 or earlier.
That's too bad.
Amazon fares a little bit better, but not much. Of course, you could still purchase it on physical copies, but it was only last released on DVD in 2018. So those are even becoming scarce, although you could still get one for paying about $25.
If you have a DVD player.
That's true. You got to buy one of those too for probably $25 as well.
Speaking of the nudity, I have to shout out my childhood friend DJ. Every time, he was a lech. Every time I went to the movies, I would come back and he had one question for me. One question only.
Yeah.
Not how was the movie, not how was the music. Did they show anything?
Oh my God.
That's all he wanted to know.
Yes, they showed a riveting examination of the societal ills wrought by unchecked masculinity.
RBD.
Yes, that too. That's the shortcut for it. Yeah. Brandon
that's
says
not what he wanted to know, believe you me.
Brandon says, I loved Revenge of the Nerds, but it's even cooler that he got to hang out with John Wayne. He's talking about Robert Carradine, of course. And also Booger asking Takashi, what the fuck are lobster craws? See, now you got me saying quotes. I said I didn't want to say them. They're all controversial. Whoops. Brenda says that will always live rent-free in my head. Well, when I helped my wife garden, like earlier or last summer, I always say, we've got bush. We've got bush.
Oh my God.
She has no idea what I'm talking about. She just thinks I'm enthusiastic about my green thumb.
What? He loves shrubbery.
Yeah. Jeez, all right, honey, calm down.
Is that hibiscus? Ooh,
Yeah.
hot.
All right, let's see. Hey, next up in 1980s news. Oh, this is the thing I was talking about here just a moment ago. All right, so far you guys got nerds. They have not been erased. That's true.
Okay, keep a tally.
Per Global English Editing, Psychology says, I love this long title from this piece. Psychology says that the 1960s and 70s accidentally produced one of the most emotionally durable generations in modern history.
Yep.
According to this name sounds made up. I'll let you decide what book or franchise he belongs to, but according to Farley Ledgerwood.
Oh, he's wearing a cardigan.
I think that's his adult film star name.
That explains why Wood is in all the cats.
Did someone ask for Farley Ledgerwood?
Yes, he's got to be English or something, right? Yeah, another Farley Ledgerwood.
Yes, come right in. The books need dusting.
And according to this person, carefully controlling our children's experience, our children's that is, and safety, I'll add, we might have, quote, accidentally weakened an entire generation. We've got Bush. In a new post making the rounds online, Ledgerwood contrasts that with the youths of Gen Xers, when our parents were too busy to read child psychology books or books to us at bedtime. Parent us. Did you guys have parents that read books to you at night? I don't remember that at all.
Not on a regular basis. Somebody read to me. I think my grandmother did, but it wasn't my parents.
I think when I was very little, but I mean, as a little boy, you quickly outgrow that. Mom,
Yeah.
let me go to bed. That's.
I remember my mom teaching me to read before I went to kindergarten, but I don't remember any stories at bedtime. It was a Jerry Seinfeld sketch. Our bedtime story was darkness.
Go to sleep. I'll give you a story.
I'll give you something to read about. Hey, I don't know if that makes sense. The police report. But based on this article, which touches on a bunch of number of things that we could just do one of those talking head things that we see on TikTok. We're like,
I'm Gen X and I'm awesome. Aren't we all awesome? We drink out of hoses.
there's so many of those people now. But whatever, fine, we get it.
Yep.
But here's some things that may be familiar to that he suggests grew out of this idea that our parents weren't parenting us. Self-reliance. Research shows that permissive parenting in the 1970s characterized by, I think I call it permissive parenting. Wasn't like no parenting. So a boomer probably wrote this. He must be a boomer maybe. Anyway, permissive parenting in the 1970s characterized by reduced discipline and increased autonomy led to children developing self-reliance and problem-solving skills.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
That's parenting. That's not a lack of parenting.
Right.
Toughen you up. Rub a little dirt in it. Walk it off.
But it was accidental.
Oh, Marcus wants this. I put this in the form of a question, Marcus. John, are you still in touch with DJ?
No.
Okay. Marcus suggests the internet must have blown his mind.
I'm sure.
Maybe that's what happened
They
to
showed
DJ.
everything.
But yeah, part of that problem solving I thought was interesting to read about is this idea that we problem solve with, and some of these things are sort of duplicative, but problem solve with others. That when you're left together with a group of kids and you start arguing about the game rules and a parent is not there or an adult to intervene, you got to work it out amongst yourselves, either by, democracy or fisticuffs or something,
Or a battle royale, yeah.
yeah, you gotta figure it out. Yeah, dance battle. Some of us did. Yeah.
Nope. That was just you, Will.
Oh,
Some of us.
yeah.
Some of us, one of us.
Patience is something else we developed because he suggests that there was little instant gratification. I remember, I think we've mentioned this before, but when they started talking about microwaves as heralding this new era of technology that will allow us to have greater instant gratification to get our food heated up faster and other things like that. They're talking about having now things that are at our fingertips.
I remember us having the microwave experience. Like it was all a big excitement to get a microwave in our house. And at first my mom would use it for, I guess, vegetables, like frozen vegetables,
okay.
warming those up.
Oh, really?
But then Hot Pockets came along. And then that was like after I came home from work at night, I'd be like, oh yeah. And it, it was 1 minute, boom.
I still remember the first thing we made with our microwave, and probably the first 7 things we made with our microwave. They were all mobile home nachos. which is just Doritos with shredded cheese on it, 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
That's all it takes. And it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
We still do something similar like that. Not Doritos, but plain corn chips. Yeah. Yeah. I remember for me, popcorn was the big thing, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't have to have somebody lord over the stove. Jiffy Pop was awesome though. Seeing that thing explode like a pimple.
I loved those. Yes.
Giant foil balloon,
Yeah.
like a weather balloon is coming down for a landing.
But that was, yeah. So instant gratification was like this new thing, but it was new because prior to that, you know, we had to wait for things. You wanted to see a show, you had to wait a week. You know, movies, you know, were not available to us to watch at home for like a year until after they came out in the movie theater.
And even then we had to look at a schedule and figure out, well, when are they going to show whatever, you know,
Could be, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Studies suggest that patience and frustration tolerance due to fewer choices. That's the other thing, right? We had fewer choices. So that's another aspect of it. Not only could in these days and age, you can get things pretty quickly, but you have a wide array of things to select. God, we sound, you know, this is.
I don't like everything the way it is now compared to the way it used to be.
But having had to develop patience and a tolerance for having fewer things to choose from led to greater emotional endurance. That guy with the fake name, whatever it was, Farquhar Nickel Buddy, something like that.
Wood.
Featherwood, yeah, okay.
Ledgerwood. That's it.
Yes.
Let's see, what else? We got problem solving. That's like, it's kind of duplicative. Resilience. All right. Resilience is the final thing here. When everything is, this is interesting. When everything is comfortable, he says, nothing prepares you for discomfort. And we were rarely comfortable.
That's so true.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if this was a product of my particular, you know, growing up, my childhood experience, but I was always waiting for another shoe to drop.
Oh,
And I mean, part of that might have been just the state of the world with the Cold War and all the shit we've talked about before, waiting for bad things to happen. But yeah, I don't know that we could be terribly comfortable for very long.
You know, I did a very, very popular video years ago where I talk about the top 5 things I learned growing up in our generation, you know, and, and one of the things I didn't include there, but that I've realized lately, especially with this explosion of social media, is because of the neglect or the passive parenting or whatever you want to call it, we had time to figure out who we were going to be rather than always seeing other people and having instant reactions to what might be cool or what might not be cool. You had to kind of develop a personality and your own tastes, and then you beat them up against other kids when you ran into them. But it wasn't like you could see what's trending and decide what you need to pay attention to or enjoy. You could find the things that you're actually genuinely passionate about, and that builds your personality and your psyche, as opposed to, what am I supposed to be paying attention to today? What's trending on Twitter today? You didn't have that worry. And this could apply to boomers before us to a degree. You know, certainly they were free range kids to a lot, you know, they were running around. We saw, you know, Spanky and Alfalfa running around on their own. You know, that was happening too. It's just that they're not the neglected generation. So I think Gen X ends up being the ones that we have to explain ourselves because we're often overlooked. But it's the pre-digital. Pre-digital, it fostered a different kind of person. And it's just, I'm not saying it's better or worse. I would think it's worse, but I mean, you can't unring that bell. You get all the bad with the good. You know, with all these benefits that we've got, you know, along with it comes low attention spans, all the things we lament.
But you're not saying we have low attention spans. You're talking like that's a...
What? I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say? No, I'm not saying.
Right. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify.
Karen says, my mom used to tell us she was not the entertainment committee. We got really good at amusing ourselves. And also that talking about patience, that they had to wait. We had to wait our turn to go down the slide at the playground. Yeah. All sorts of things like that. And Brandon says, first time we made microwave popcorn, the neighbors came over and we all bent down and watched it pop in amazement. Yep. We were rednecks. Anyway, look, just another one of the many, you know, studies that show how awesome our generation is, how no generations after us will be good. You know, John, what you were just saying about this idea of identity, which we've talked about in other contexts before, but it almost makes me think, I mean, with all of the, even though they have so much more choice now, but because they, and maybe the instantness or the gratification aspect of it, we can pick and actually have something. Maybe that counters what I'm about to say. But what I was going to say is because they all have this choice, and it is this phenomenon, like you're saying, where it's just one thing after another. Well, that homogenized people's personalities in a sense, either because you don't have the opportunity to develop your own identity, and maybe that's what it is, or what you're developing is in a similar way that everybody else is, the experience.
I would counterpoint to that to say, I think what modern kids growing up today have is the illusion of choice. Everything is at your fingertips, but you are forced into a certain rut if you want to be with the crowd, because everyone's paying attention to that one trending thing. So though you have infinite choice, if you don't want to be ostracized and you want to be included and you want to be on the in, you have to conform to what everyone is liking today, this minute. So it really isn't choice, is it? Unless you want to choose to be ostracized, which of course kids don't, because that's horrible. Growing up is rough. You want to feel, you want to feel part of something. So
it's kind of wild, right? It does seem almost like, and I guess because these generations rely so much on validation from strangers via social media, that there is, it seems like this greater effort to be, like you're saying, something that's crowd pleasing in a sense. Not that there's not folks who go against that and become very popular as a result, but I find this, I feel like I'm noticing, it may just maybe just my algorithm, but I'm noticing more and more often strangers looking for validation by posting something online. And it's pretty, everyday type stuff, but it could be like, hey, I got a filling today. Clap for me. I got, hey, I had to change a flat tire and I was able to do it, And I think, well, that's cool that you were able to do those things. But why are you telling me? Like, I don't know you. Do you not, is it you don't have the support system and friends in your family or internally, like you're part of our generation where you can just pat yourself on the back or not? Right. Or is it something else where that hole can't be filled no matter how many friends you have? It's not enough people to stuff in there.
Right. Like I only know 12 people and 12 likes is not going to cut it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got to post it. I've got to post it.
At its core, it's definitely a reaching out for connection and a reaching out for, just sharing.
Is it connection though, Kat? I mean, I get where you're going, but it's not even connection, is it? It's just kind of this anonymous checkmark of validation. Like I saw you. It's just being recognized that you exist.
I would not say it's a good connection or an optimal connection. That's what I mean.
It's tenuous at best.
It's yes. But there's something there. They want to feel connected, and I don't necessarily think that's a great way to do it. But everyone, hi. But you never know. Some people that might be enough. On the topic of safety, we were having a discussion recently about the things that happened to us in our childhood and children growing up in the 70s. And early 80s, and how some of those things just would never happen now. Like on the topic of seatbelts and the no helmets and being allowed, access to firearms, and things like that. And I do believe that we perhaps as a parenting generation have maybe realized that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have been in that position. And wow, I'm lucky I'm alive. I don't want my children to be in such peril. And then, of course, we perhaps have overcompensated.
It's Darwin at play.
Yeah, I remember specifically, sitting behind the bench seat of the first row of my parents' car, just holding hands, like your hands are on their headrest, like looking over, right? Standing on the floor.
Yes.
And then your car turns, like holding on for your life.
That's fun. Yeah, it's like a carnival ride in the car. It's fantastic.
I almost fell out of my dad's truck a couple times.
Right, you had a rope.
Did you ever have the big station wagon? Right, they had the rear-facing seat, but then you could lay it all flat, so everything behind the second row was just like this 3-foot deck. So you couldn't stand up in it; you could just roll around in it.
Right. It is kind of like the back of a pickup. My cat's suggesting. Right?
Yes.
I many a road trip I slept back there in a blanket and a pillow on that deck. The lights going by. Oh, it's making me sleepy already. The lights going by the street lights.
Oh, yeah, car sleep is pretty awesome. I love car sleep.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hey. Let's see. We got another comment here. Flat Top Stallone. All right. It's like a Dick Tracy character. And is that one of the brothers that we were talking about earlier? Another family of brothers. You got your Frank, you got your Sly, you got your Flat Top. Flat Top says, "Hey guys, what are the thoughts about Rod Stewart's 1984 epic Body Wishes?" Holy cow. That's a very specific question, taking us way back. Yeah.
Is that a song, a video, a movie?
It's an album. It's an album.
An album. Okay.
The only song I know came off of that, I believe, is Baby Jane, which was a one of the more popular songs. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe Flat Top Stallone gets a cut every time someone downloads one of those tracks from Spotify.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Brandon says, when Dad would take us fishing, my brother and I would sit on lawn chairs in the back of the truck as we drove along. Oh, gosh.
Lawn chairs?
That's got to be fun. Is it a similar thing?
Wait a minute. No, in my dad's truck, in his pickup truck, the coveted spot was the wheel hub. You wanted to be lucky enough to sit, on that
kind of raised
like a
up
built-in seat right there. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. They brought their own chairs.
Here's what you don't know is that if the wheel hub is a little rusty and has holes in it, when you go over puddles.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Get a little wet tookus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cold.
I can see that. Yeah. Marcus says, wait, we can just ask random questions? Wasn't that one? That was one. Oh, I see. Flat Top says, I am moved by inappropriate, lustful songs sung by elderly white men. Wow, that's a really specific niche.
Oh.
That is. Wait, he wasn't elderly at the time, though, was he, Rod Stewart?
That's a weird thing, right? It is kind of weird where you're like, you watch a movie with someone like, we're talking about Last Starfighter. Catherine Mary Stewart had a real crush on her, when she was a kid. And now she's an older person, she's always been older, but is she that young person still forever when I see that? Or do I, I know that she's in her 60s now.
But here's the thing. We're aging right together.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, from 16 to now, Jamie Lee Curtis is on my list.
Oh, yeah.
In her current form.
Wow, yeah.
Look, I got old too, and it's fine. I realized, what was superficial before, and now I just realize I like the person and the personality and the, So, yes. I know what you mean. There's like this time capsule of like, when I watch that movie, there's this identity that you associate with, and that's why they're in the movie. They're portraying that character at that age and everything. But when you start to know the actors behind it, and you're like, you follow them over time, and you start to realize, I never liked the person in the first place, or it wasn't the character at all. It was the person.
Yeah.
So.
That's maturity, John. I love that.
Maybe I'm too mature.
John's like, I went from being a boobs guy to a brain guy.
No. I just added to the list.
A boobs and brain guy.
That's right. Those two in separate jars. If you Abby Normal.
John might be admitting to a crime. Hey, another 1980s news per the Popverse. Marvel, look, speaking of the Last Starfighter, and it's fun, so many of these things are coalescing here. Marvel's Last Star, oh gosh. I'm going to put Lost and Last right together. Marvel's Last Starfighter comic returns just in time for the sequel.
What?
Are we
That's confusing.
Well,
we all have questions.
I got to check on your thing here. Hang on a second. Why did I throw your answer sheet down? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Gen X is emotionally adorable. Yes, you got that right. Are we finally getting a Last Starfighter sequel? Maybe, you say. So you don't know. All right. So you're asking, still asking. All right. Well, let me tell you the story here. This summer, Mad Cave, which is a comic book publisher, is putting the original The Last Starfighter comic back into print. So the movie, released in 1984, by the way, just 1 week before Revenge of the Nerds, the sci-fi adventure was directed by Nick Castle, whom we mentioned, and written by Jonathan Betchell. A cult classic, pioneered CGI. It's sort of what Tron just did a couple of years earlier. Just I don't know. In between those couple of years, it was like a leap. Taking those polygons and coloring them in a certain way to create these sort of models, more like looking models thing than we had ever seen, really. But it also inspired a generation of fans who watched Alex Rogan, played by Lance Guest, who was a teenager whose video game skills transformed him into an intergalactic hero. Now, after seeing this, I felt like I was I imagine most guys did, right? Either destined to fight a Star War, or I was going to ace video games and just get paid to do that for a living. That's going to be a job.
Sure.
Neither worked out. Now, John's pretty close, though. He does a lot of, it basically makes his living playing video games.
Way to reduce it down to its simplest, rawest form, Will.
Yep.
John, you're
so
going
you
to
just play video games for a living? Yeah, that's what I do. That's exactly
You're
all I
going to
do.
be a 4-star general when they realize, John, this has been a test this whole time. Or when you realize. Anyway, 1984, that same year, Marvel released a comic book adaptation of the film, as is often done with either, with novelizations or comic books. It was written by Bill Mantlo with art by Brett Blevins and cover art by Jackson Geiss. The comic version of Last Starfighter.
Now that's the sequel.
Yes, The Last Starfighter, coming to a galaxy near you.
Scoop.
I love that name, Brett Blevins, right? Is that what it was? Brett Blevins.
Yeah. The comic book version of The Last Starfighter expanded the film's world while capturing the original spirit of the movie. But unfortunately, the comic's been out of print for years. In June, however, that's going to be rectified when Mad Cave will publish the original 3-issue comic in a new paperback collection.
Okay, so that answered my question when it said the Lost Last Starfighter. Nothing lost about it. Like every comic on the planet, it's out of print because it has one run. I got it. So it wasn't available unless you got, you found an old copy. I got it. So,
yes.
Yeah. It's newly available without having to dig up an old one. I like that.
Yeah. And I was a little confused because we had two stories to me that were, look, a lot of this stuff on the internet, but even before AI got involved, just not well written. And in fact, if it's not well written now, I don't assume it's AI. I assume it's some guy who is just a terrible writer, who doesn't get paid a lot for these things. It's just, here's another thing you could post. Because I was confused. There were so many of these stories, and most of them just borrow from the other, that talked about there's a new Last Starfighter coming in June of this year. But when I looked up a link that was tied to Catherine Mary Stewart's Instagram or Facebook talking about this, it was a link to a Simon & Schuster page for the Mad Cave comic of the film adaptation, the original comic, the reprint. So I was like, well, where's the sequel? I've got more information now because I did reach out to the man himself, John Betchell, about this. So while the on-screen continuation of the film is yet unknown, Mad Cave is also going to publish a brand new comic book series that picks up directly after the events of the original movie. The new project will be led by Betchell and producer Paul Davidson, with Quantum Leap and Arrow writers, both shows which I liked, Benjamin Robb and Derek A. Hughes, with interior artist Willie Roberts and colorist Francesco Segala. Per Betchell, he says, quote, long overdue. We're all eager to chronicle the Herculean undertaking of Alex Rogan as he finds himself charged with rebuilding the legendary Starfighter Legion. And John told me exclusively what it's about.
Did he?
Maybe, I don't know.
So before you continue, I need a little clarification.
Okay, sure.
So
random question time.
The comic book is the comic book that was released contemporaneously with the film. This is the 80s comic book reprinted. Was that a novelization? Was that a graphic novelization of the film, or was it a continuation?
It was of the film. It was an adaptation of the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not getting or maybe we are, but I mean, there's not a comic book coming right around the corner that is a sequel. We're talking strictly about the film that is coming in the near future is a sequel. Is that right?
I'm sorry. So this is still confusing. I apologize. Okay. So we're getting a reprint of the original adaptation of the film.
Yes.
So it was a comic book novelization of sorts.
Yes.
But what's really exciting is right after they do that, and the way John explained it was, that's essentially going to lay the groundwork for the next series of comic books that are going to be sequels of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So those are going to be canonical in-universe stories that continue the
right
story. And are we still getting the film? And does that come between two things, or is that after all this stuff, or does one lay the groundwork for the next, which is likely what they would do symbiotically?
Yes, you're right. That's exactly. So we don't know the fate of the movie or TV series. There's been talked about maybe it'll be a TV series, but But now we're getting it in comic book form, an extension of the story, right?
And that's thanks to him getting the rights back, so he could actually authorize doing this and continue telling the story.
I didn't ask
for that, right?
I thought the same thing, but I didn't ask him. But
not sure. Okay.
The fact that he's doing it in the comic book right now may be an end run around whatever rights he doesn't have for the film, but he may have them. You're right. As far as we know, look, last time we talked, he has them, but there was still some pain in the ass details to be worked out with some folks who had a little piece of something, international distribution or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I just asked him, what's up with the comic book? Are we really getting a sequel in comic book form or not? And he says that, yes, we are. And quote, Alex Rogan rebuilds the decimated interstellar legion by recruiting a motley, unlikely assortment of creatures and forging them into respected interstellar law enforcement.
Oh.
So we had one Starfighter, the last one, and he's starting to build some new Starfighters.
It's the next Starfighter. We could name the series.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I don't know if there's a distinction to be made between a Starfighter and an interstellar law enforcement officer. I don't know if that's a distinction enough, even if it is, but it sounds like maybe we're not Starfighters. There was still the last Starfighter. We're interstellar law enforcement, which, by the way, it doesn't sound as romantic. The last interstellar law enforcement.
ILEO, ILEO.
Hey, no speeding on the Kessel Run, y'all. You gotta lock it in. Posted limits.
Per Mad Cave, this project is a dream come true, per Davidson, the producer. He said, quote, "The Last Starfighter was and still is a childhood obsession that I never imagined I'd have the opportunity to work on. Jonathan created an iconic story for the ages, and now Mad Cave is helping bring it to a new generation," end quote. And I'll add, to the film's first generation of fans too, right? We're still here.
Mm-hmm. Not yet.
I want to read the.
Not gone yet.
Yeah, we'll read those original, reprints and the sequels as they come out too. Looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. The Last Starfighter #1 hits shelves this June. So you got maybe I don't know. Maybe I guess it can count as.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Wow. I didn't know you could get it right by being waffly like that.
Good job, you got it wrong. You're right. You should have been definitive. You're right, John.
Yeah.
You're right,
be decisive or you get no credit.
And speaking of comic books, we got some comments here. Marcus says, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts?" I know he's just being a dick. I don't even have to read it. I know he's
being a wise guy. Yes.
Hey guys, what are your thoughts on the emotional sincerity of 1980 saxophone solos? Huh.
I like to drape myself over the speaker personally when the saxophone solo comes
That
up.
sounds like a great idea. I'll have to try that.
Kat, that's a callback.
It is. It's all back to Carolus.
You don't remember? You said you did that.
Of course, I know exactly what he's talking
Then
about.
why are you? Oh, okay.
Because I was
so sincere.
playing along being silly.
Okay, hi. Hi. I gotta say though, I mean, the saxophone is a very emotional instrument, right? I mean, it just really conveys a lot.
Don't pander to Marcus. Move on.
Doesn't
to the
that
next
neutralize
story.
what he says? All right.
What you do is if you click on him, you can go block.
He has a follow-up question, John. All right, I'll skip Marcus.
I'm sure he does.
All right, hey, otherwise in 1980s news, speaking of comic books per bloody disgusting, 80s mascots battle a milk monster in a new graphic novel. So coming from 1984 publishing, wow, so many things that are just like, connected. Cereal Savages follows 4 disgraced cereal mascots from the 1980s now struggling to survive in the modern world. I thought about John as soon as I read this.
That sounds great.
With help from their middle-aged superfan, if only this guy was named John, middle-aged superfan Mike, they'll confront old demons, repair broken friendships, and battle an oozy apocalyptic milk monster threatening the globe.
Ew.
Yeah.
Milk monster.
Now this...
Ew.
He's starting to turn.
Oh, yeah, right. I wonder what's Are we going to get an origin that makes us feel for the milk monster? I hope not. There's not a prequel book.
We know how you love learning more about villains.
Yeah.
Just be bad guys, you said. You don't want to hear about their backstory.
Yeah.
That's right.
White hats, black hats.
Right.
Get it straight.
There you go. Simple.
This reminds me, though, John, you do remind me of the many science experiments I had in my bedroom as a kid because mostly it was often cereal, where I would finish a bowl of cereal. Don't get me wrong. I'd drink the milk. But there's some residue left, and that get left long enough, you start developing a petri dish of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My poor mother would find at some point,
So you had just like dirty dishes in your room, leftover cereal? Is that what you're saying?
So judgy.
No, I'm asking. I'll judge in a minute. Right now, I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Is it just cereal, or was it any
No,
food
John,
you
it
brought
was
into
worse
your
than
room?
that, John. I honestly, I do have, I'm not being serious. I have some guilt or shame around my, lack of food hygiene. In this regard, or respect for food, or my parents in that regard.
I'm not judging. I just
apparently it took 7 years to write this thing, and I imagine maybe a good part of that might have been the artwork, because it was written by Hans Rodionoff and illustrated by Garbage Pail Kids artist Joe Simcoe.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
really.
And
that's great.
If you've, I do have an image here I could share with you of it. Well, I'll show it to you in just a moment. But it's a 152-page graphic novel, as I mentioned, that Bloody Disgusting describes as heartfelt, ridiculous, and, quote, crunchy chaos at its finest. Yes. Okay. So the limited hardcover edition features shimmering blue foil gilded page edges, a pink ribbon marker, and a foreword by the Goldberg's creator, Adam F. Goldberg. But wait, there's more, John. You're going to want to get this.
Oh, okay.
Those fans also receive a cereal bowl and a spoon, a wax pack of trading cards, and additional collectibles.
Yes.
And everything arrives in a custom designed cereal box.
Get the hell out of town.
Perfect for storing it on bookshelves or in kitchen cupboards. I got a picture for you here. This presentation.
And when is this coming out?
This one comes out. You can pre-order it
now.
now.
How do you get it?
Comes out in May.
Pre-order it now?
You can get it directly from their website.
Is there a link in the show notes?
Of course. You know it.
Okay.
So you look, it's like a cereal box / book.
It doesn't scream Simcoe to me, but I can see it if I squint.
Yeah, there is some other artwork you could see online that is straight up Garbage Pail Kids type art.
Really?
And in that sense, disgusting because I never cared for that art style. It always grossed me out. And so,
that's the point.
yeah, a lot of this is gross. These serial heroes or mascots, what do you call them? They're gross. Some of the images are gross. But what we have to be made to feel uncomfortable. Otherwise, we'll something or other.
Yeah. How can we be resilient?
Oh, but be careful, John. Because
I will.
But be careful, John, because reading the book while eating may prove dangerous. Goosebumps creator R.L. Stine warns, saying, quote, "This hilarious book kept me choking with laughter till long after breakfast." End quote.
Oh, dear.
Yep, it's available on May 26th. You can pre-order it now.
May 26th. That's right around the corner. Okay.
That's not that
Neat.
far away, yeah.
Retrodoll says, did you hear Brian May from Queen worked on the music for the new... No way! The new Masters of the Universe? No way.
Oh, is that right? Cool.
That's cool.
Okay. Very cool.
All right.
So Queen, what are the great Queen movie soundtracks? Flash, right?
Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Highlander.
Mm.
End of list, I think. Karen also says, I do not put milk in my cereal because I had to clean the sour milk from my brother's cereal bowl when he went out to play after the cartoons were over. Yeah. Wait.
That's unfair,
wait.
Karen.
Wait, so you don't do milk at all?
Yeah,
You
and
just
how-
raw dog raisin bran? I mean, what are you doing over there?
Does anybody have a glass of water or anything? It's so dry.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I have Chex Mix. Oh, it's like eating cardboard.
Grape nuts.
I have nothing against the dry cereal. I've done that. I just feel really bad that she had to be the one.
Well, if it's
to clean
Fruit
up
Loops,
after her
yeah.
brother.
But come on now.
Yeah, that's like a,
There's
that's
some
a-
cereals.
Yeah, that's. But what I really thought you were going to ask, John, is
Poor Karen.
how quickly did this milk turn sour?
Well, that's another good question.
Brother eats the cereal. He goes out to play and. Oh, I wonder.
What was
All
he
right.
doing? Ooh.
I often got in trouble for just not rinsing out my milk, right? Because when it dries,
Yeah.
it's so hard to wash, especially in a glass or something. Yeah.
It's like glue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned early on, I got enough scoldings from my mama. Rinse out your milk. Whatever you put milk in, rinse it out.
Karen says that they have milk and a glass on the side. Okay, so there you go. Yep.
Oh, okay. Take a bite, take a drink.
Two-handed,
Take a bite,
two-handed.
take a drink.
Brandon says, just pour beer in the cereal like Carradine did in Revenge of the Nerds. Yes, that's right. And I don't have a button to press. Okay.
Da-da-da.
Thanks, John.
Oh, it's okay when he does it. Mhm.
This reminds me. I was in a show once.
Easy, cat. Easy.
I mean, literally. Okay. Nope. All right, let's see how you did. 80s mascots battle of Milk Monster. You said yes. All right, that one's good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Finally. Oh, you know, reminds me though. So I was in a show once where, Kat, you might remember this show. So I had a cream. Did I tell you guys this story? Had a cream pie. I had to have a pie put in my face.
Yes.
Did I tell you this, John? I don't know if I told
I
you.
remember part of this.
Okay. And the gal who's a good friend of mine, I say she's a good friend of mine. Recently, I caught up with her and she's like, it's not like we're friends. And I was like, wow, that hurts. That hurts. Now I have a goal to be best friends with her. But she was the stage manager at the time. And every night they would fill the pie tin with whipped cream. Like the Ready Whip.
Ew. You're supposed to use shaving cream for those.
John, you know what, John? I learned that since.
Did you? Okay.
So she
Yeah.
used whipped cream, which was delicious, by the way, except every night.
First.
Except every night, because I'm hit in the face with it, it goes right up the nose. In that sense, probably I'd prefer that than to shaving cream because that might burn. I don't know. Right? That
yeah.
menthol or whatever's in there. But one night, she didn't realize the can she purchased just that day from the store was well expired. So somehow this was still in the refrigerator. So she filled up the tin, and it wasn't until they put it in my face I realized this thing is old.
Oh, yeah.
And I am going to tell you, this is true. I could not get that smell out of my nose for weeks.
Wow.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
afterwards like upside down under a faucet, trying to get that stuff.
You
out
one of
my nose.
those teapot things you see on
A neti
TikTok.
pot?
with
The netty.
Yes.
Yeah, neti pot myself. Yeah.
In Cub Scouts, we had a skit one time where we had to do we're doing the slapstick pie
Yeah.
in the face thing. And we had the tin pie pans and we filled it up with whipped cream or not, shaving cream, We
wisely.
learned a lesson, but I didn't have a handle on how it worked.
Okay.
And so I was too aggressive in applying the pie to someone's face. So I effectively just palm punched him through a pan and it got a bloody nose.
Oh no!
Because I just went bam.
Broke his nose.
I didn't realize.
wow.
No. It didn't break his nose, but I mean, it broke blood vessels.
Yeah.
He had a bloody nose.
Oh my goodness.
So I didn't realize. Oh, you just have to put it on his face. You don't have to thrust it into his nose.
Now it has cherry syrup on the pie. Ew.
Well, they didn't let us practice, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't
you were
like,
just a
okay,
kid, yeah.
let's do a dry run of how do you hit people in the face with a fake pie. I didn't know. I see it on the Three Stooges and think I got it figured out. Simple.
It's a good thing you didn't have to poke each other in the eyes or anything. All right, enough violence. Speaking of no more violence, let's talk about this. Our final story, as per Bloody Disgusting, we've got a new Faces of Death trailer. And I don't mean there's a new trailer for the old 1978 film. I'm talking about there's a new Faces of Death, and it's got a trailer. Experience a new cycle of death with the Red Band trailer for Faces of Death, a meta-horror remake of the notorious 1978 Faux documentary. Yes, Faux! You might still have that question raised in your mind. First of all, anything meta piques my curiosity. You know, I love films that could be self-referential, either to the genre or the film itself. That's such a clever way. It can be done well. It could be done poorly, too. The trailer, which is available online, suggests that every generation has a rite of passage. And while Generation X endured many such rituals, see our earlier conversation, Faces of Death was one of them. Did you guys ever watch Faces of Death as kids or friends were watching it? Okay.
Kids?
Well,
I mean,
teen, whatever. Yeah. Tween, something like that.
14, 15, right there. Yeah.
That's on my list of movies not to watch that somebody told me.
You have an opposite list?
Yes.
I feel like it's too late to do anything about Faces of Death anymore because there's no mystery. If you want to know if it's real, just look it up. Just go to IMDb. Because
I see. Uh-huh.
we got Faces of Death and banned in 50 countries or whatever it says right on the thing. Whether it was or not, I couldn't check.
Right.
I'm like, it must be banned in 50 countries. I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah. Right.
And then you watch it and you're like, now, even at that time, I was cognizant enough of video production to go, okay, there weren't 3 cameramen at the shark attack. So how do we have different angles? Right. So, that's something. But then later I heard people saying, well, yeah. Part of it's fake, but that part and that part and that part are real. Right. So, and now, like, I'm not even sure what this new one is. The trailer doesn't tell me. It's lots of gory stuff happening. It doesn't really tell me, but I'm concerned that it's just going to be is it some slasher making a new movie? Is it going to be the new movie? Is like The Ring. You watch the movie and a problem. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's too, you can't have the same mystery you had with Faces of Death.
Good point.
That's my concern.
Yeah, so I know a little bit more about the movie, and I think it addresses your concerns in a clever way.
Okay.
For folks who don't know, the original film, which is a cult classic, was written and directed by John Schwartz under the pseudonyms Conan Le and Alan Black. So he did both things and used 2 different fake names. And it was famously marketed as showing a number of depictions of real deaths, as John has been suggesting here. Originally planned as just a collection of footage depicting real-life death of animals and people, initial screening led investors to request a more coherent plot to keep the viewer engaged in the carnage. Schwartz headed back to the drawing board and came up with the film's mockumentary format. So there is a thing tying it all together. There's a guy who's a parapsychologist or sociologist or something, wants to examine the implications of death and its effect on society and all those sort of things. I don't know that it does that really effectively. Or that anybody could tell you the story. But on a budget of $450,000, which is just peanuts, the film had a surprisingly lucrative opening, bringing in an estimated $35 million.
Oh my gosh.
That first weekend. But it wasn't until its VHS release 5 years later, look, talking about waiting and patience, 5 years later to get this on VHS, it developed its iconic cult status.
It never occurred to me that this was ever in the theater.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, right.
I've only ever, so when did it come out in the theater? You said, I missed it.
And the theater was released in 78.
78. Okay, so I would have been 9. I wouldn't have gone to see Faces of Death in the theater.
Right.
So it wasn't until, I probably got it.
Yeah.
82, 81, 82 probably is when
It was released in
stumbled across
1983 on home video.
83, okay, there you go. 83 probably, 84, yep. That was when I was haunting the rental stores. Like, what's this banned in 50 countries? Yeah.
Yep. And you're right. It was immediately met with censorship. Some of it, a lot of it,
Does
which was
show anything.
No, you don't want to know, DJ. It was immediately censored in a number of countries, but the subsequent cassettes claimed that it was banned in 46, which probably wasn't true, but there were certainly a handful, including the UK. It's part of what they refer to as the Mondo genre of horror films. It's a sort of the shock jock side of cinema that blends this sort of gross out horror with documentary. It's arguably the most famous of the genre and probably the most controversial as well. Schwartz was inspired by another faux documentary, The Hellstrom Chronicles, which was about insects that will destroy mankind. So he believed when he was younger and saw that, he thought it was legit. And after he learned it was fake, he was like, I want to do that too. Schwartz believes that the film's endurance is based on its ability to, quote, force the viewer to address uncomfortable issues of mortality, end quote. Is that what it does? I don't know that. No. As kids, you're like, what is existence? Is there a God? What happens when we die? No.
It's gory voyeurism. That's all it is.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
It's like, show me something crazy and insane. And, oh, look, this crocodile attack. And, oh, look, this monkey. And, oh, look, this, whatever. Electrocution, I think, is in it.
Right. Yep. An execution.
It had, I want to say, I know I saw up to number 4. There's at least 4 of them, maybe more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's 4. That's right. Look, as kids, I honestly, I don't remember seeing it. I think it might very well be the case that, and my friends were watching it. It may be that I was able to sneak out of watching it and then later try to, gaslight them into thinking that I was there.
Act like you watched it?
Yeah, so I had the credibility. So like that monkey thing, right? That was messed up. Yeah.
Will's big chicken.
I'm a bigger one.
It does make me wonder about the psychology of folks or the mental state of folks who enjoy this kind of thing. I remember in early internet days, I worked with someone who, and during their breaks was online in the office, looking up these sites that had horrible, like real crime scene photos and laughing and being like, you got to see what happened to this one guy.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, nope. What is it? Oh, his blah, blah, blah. Dave, I'm not even going to pretend or joke about what they may be showing. No, I don't want to see that. And the fact that you're like finding delight in that, there's something wrong. It may be wrong as too, of a judgy term,
but this movie sounds like a list of all the ways you might not want to die rather than contemplating the meaning of death. It's like, nope.
It wasn't a menu, Cat. What?
That's what it sounds like.
And now the movie's over, and now, viewer, is your turn. Pick. What's your favorite? 2 from column A and 1 from column B.
Yeah. As popular as it was, it's like it can't be that everybody that watched it, and I'm not talking about your friend looking at websites, I'm aware of rotten.com.
Yes.
But
I didn't want to plug them.
As many people who watched and enjoyed and brented this movie, they can't all be sociopaths, right? I mean,
yeah, I would think so.
So there's something.
Can't all be.
It's mathematically, Cat.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's some different fascination. Yeah.
But there is some kind of, it's that morbid curiosity. It's the taboo. It's the, nobody else is going to show me this. Everybody, here's what you're not allowed to show on TV. So they showed it in the movie. And it's, even though it was fake, we find out later, but was it, or maybe this was, it was, right? But we were never sure in our teens and 20s exactly how much of it was real and how much of it wasn't. And so you feel like you got to peek behind the curtain. I don't think the joy comes out of seeing the terrible thing happen to a person, but seeing the thing you're not allowed to see. For me, that's what it was.
Yeah, John. And the particular person I'm referring to, found it was true delight and joy and
really,
exuberant over this. Again, I could think of some of the things she wanted to show me. I'm like,
weird.
I don't even want to utter it.
Mine's more like a morbid curiosity.
I agree with you. That's probably overwhelming that situation. Yeah. It's even life affirming to some extent, seeing, some evidence of the mortality of life. That's, well, I'm still here. So, wow, thank goodness. What am I going to do now? I think, but sort of the flip side of that. But look, we're talking about this question. Was it real or not? And just John mentioned, most of it is fake. There's a couple of things. What I read is any actual death you see in it is not real. So you don't see anyone really die on screen or animal really die. There are some photos or images of some actual dead bodies that were, part of B-roll or that sort of thing. They didn't cause any of it for this.
Right. It's not a snuff film.
Yeah, it's not a snuff film.
Right.
But largely things were faked, including the famous monkey brains thing, which is this kind of a funny story when the guy talks. I read Schwartz explaining what happened, where they got this idea, and so they like in California thought, well, this got to be like a foreign country that does this, and so they found some kind of Middle Eastern restaurant that had belly dancers, and they asked their owner, "Can we shoot this here?" And they put the owner in it. He's the guy who's like gonna have the monkey, And they had a trainer with a monkey really there, and then they have a stunt double monkey.
Hold on, wait. So okay, and they also had a model of a monkey. I'm assuming because call him the stunt monkey so we can smash his head.
Yeah, no, I meant stunt double as in yes. Okay.
It was
prosthetic.
All right.
Or, yeah.
We can't have the star monkey get hurt. We bring in a stunt monkey.
Yeah. Hey, someone hire a monkey.
That's the expendable monkey. Here he took a couple shots in the head. Yeah, and then they cut to a fake monkey head.
Yeah.
Turns out it was cauliflower that was covered with red dye. It looked like brains. That's even disgusting. Just talking about the fake stuff. But so, John, back to the original or the new one. I think it's kind of cool what they may be trying to do because they're continuing this exploration of whether the film's real or not, or to what extent. Because the reboot follows a woman working as a content moderator for a video platform who discovers what appears to be reenactments of the murders from the original movie.
Okay.
And look, let's face it, we're in somewhat of a post-truth world with the advent of AI and just people were bullshitting before AI. It's just even worse now. So nothing can be trusted. So we follow this character who must determine whether the violence is fictional or unfolding in real time.
I'm going to look at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to enjoy it, but I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see it.
Yeah. I'm a little encouraged by the fact that it's rated R. So, there's stuff like disgusting movies I want to watch that are rated R. Like I'm not interested in Terrifier. We talked about this. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in torture porn. That's just no redeeming qualities to me as far as an art form. The movie has a bunch of people in it. The only person I recognize are two people. Dockery Montgomery, who is Billy in season 2 or 3 of Stranger Things, plays Max's brother. And looking at the trailer, it looks like maybe he's the serial killer or something. That's not a spoil. I can't spoil a movie that hasn't been released yet. Yeah. And also, fresh off of her album, Wuthering Heights, Charlie XCX is among the stars as well.
He did it, Kat. He worked Wuthering Heights into yet another episode. Oh, Lord, let Kathy in the window.
John, you're freaking me out. It was directed by the new film we're talking about. It was directed by Daniel Goldhaber from a script he co-wrote with Issa Matsai, I'll say. Variety suggested to Goldhaber that since many people believe the footage in the original film was real, it would be difficult to depend on that type of word of mouth today. To which he said, quote, "We came up with a solution to that problem that required a lot of legal and logistical footwork. It's very important to us to honor the parts of that aspect of the original. We have done our best in the movie to do that within the bounds of the law."
Oh my.
What if they're pulling a Blair Witch where like the actors don't even show up except for as their character names on IMDb and weird stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. And it's a little tricky with these actors because although I don't know who they are, they're well known. It's someone from
yes. Well, a couple of them certainly, but yeah,
they're all from something. Not shows that I watch. One's from Euphoria, which I know is a popular show. Another one's from some other show that's pop. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
So no, but John, it would be interesting if they have them killed off and then they really disappear for a few weeks. You know, they don't do press junkets. Dockery Montgomery's really gone. Oh no. Whatever. Oh. If you want to see it apens on April 10th. So we got a lot of stuff coming up real soon. Yep. All right, hey, that's it. That's the show. Go wash your brain out, your eyeballs or whatever. I will. I do need palate cleansers after. Do you do this? You watch a horror movie or something disturbing or upsetting for some reason or another. You got to put on a sitcom or something after that, or
Looney Tunes.
Okay, or Looney Tunes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Kat was right on the final question: is New Faces of Death real? She said, "Ew," and yes, I agree.
Ooh, correct, Kat.
All of that disgusting conversation was brought to you thanks in part to our early adopters, Rick Parker and Karen Flieger. Yeah. And thank you especially to our Secret of Our Success level Patreon supporters, Vincent Ferrari, John Henderson, Brandon Greer, Marcus Taylor, and Matt Marino.
Thank you guys so very much for your generous contributions each and every month. You help us keep the show going. You help keep our spirit alive. We may have enough money to actually get a legitimate streaming platform now that doesn't have... No, John, no.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, good.
Keeping my spirit alive
glad you're
on the moor.
Sing again. That was amazing.
I'm not going to do that again. Sorry.
But seriously, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Please, if you can help, please do so. Go to patreon.com/1980s now to find out how. Let's see. We got a few comments here before we get out of here. Okay. Retro Doll says, "I always thought it was an urban legend. I didn't realize it was an actual movie." Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You may be
Wow.
just young enough to have missed.
That's like another level of detachment from it. Like you didn't even know you didn't think a movie is a movie. That's wild.
Yes.
Wow.
It's not real. It's not real. It's got to be a movie. Retro Dolls also says, my friends and I thought it was something gross boys made up to get the girls, to gross the girls out. Do you remember that, Kat? How some boys would just tell a girl something gross to freak her out. Yeah, they still do that. I've got 2 daughters. They'd still do that. Assholes.
Yeah, they do. In my case, I feel like it was the boys and the girls telling me things to try to gross me out. Coming
But
from all
boys are the
sides.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys are worse.
My
for
kids
sure.
are prepared, though. I imagine, you guys prepared
Well, they
your
grew up
kids
with
too.
you.
Can't
So, yeah, they were
Right.
prepared.
Desensitized.
Well, you know what? You say that, but also I was like, all right, you got to be ready. There's going to be some assholes in your life. This is what they're going to do, and this is what you do. Crotch punch. You know, that kind of thing.
Goodness.
Ball tap.
Can we start with a stern warning? Do we have to go straight to the
that
groin?
is the stern warning.
Oh, goodness.
Shot over the bow. Brendan says, I was scared to watch Faces of Death because it was so hyped up by my brother. But my brother showed it to me at 13 years old, and it did seem like a rite of passage. I know.
Oh.
Like being in a secret club once you've seen it. Like, have you seen it?
Yeah. I like to be in that club because I didn't want to see it. But I've since seen other things that are stuck on my head. So I eventually.
So have you never seen it now?
No.
But you know all these references. It's just because of social.
John, I'm telling you,
osmosis.
Look, I'm good at, like, you ever see the movie Zelig, the Woody Allen movie Zelig? I'm good at that. You get me in a crowd, I'm able to pay attention to what people are saying, to just get in there and like code switch and just, yeah.
Would you watch it now that you know it's all fake?
I'm not really interested. Probably not.
Really? Even though the sequel's coming?
No, I am. I do want to see the sequel, though.
What will it mean to you? If they're looking at the original crimes, that's weird. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm not judging. I'm confused. Like, you're interested in this, but don't want to see the.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, look, it's not like it's
origin.
It's not like it's continuing the story.
You want to watch it together? I'll watch it with you.
Maybe.
So you can have a buffer, right? You can have a human buffer to go.
If we could watch it in person and I could put my head on your shoulder.
I can stroke your hair and go, no, Will. It's okay. It's okay.
Let's do it with a group of people right before the sequel comes out. All right. Hey, everybody. See you at Fan Expo Cleveland, March 15th. Come say hi. All right. That's it. All right. Otherwise, we will talk to you again next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Stunt monkey!